Hey, I have been doing some book recommendations on my library website for the kids. I've been using the books that I have here at home that we also have on the library shelves, and I really enjoyed it today, and it felt a little therapeutic, so I thought I might throw one out there for some books that are not for the library but are for my friends. I'm really missing being able to walk around and talk to people about what I'm reading or what they're reading. So just throwing this out there. Again, probably more for me than for anybody else, but in case you are at home and thinking of some things to read, and you're not quite sure where to turn, I thought I might talk about some. So I just went to the shelf and pulled off the ones that I've read so far this year. If you follow me on Facebook or on Goodreads or Instagram, you know I'm constantly recommending books or talking about the ones that I've finished or that I'm reading. So all of these are already on my Instagram, or I've already reviewed them on Goodreads, so they'll be on my Facebook and on my Goodreads. But I started there, and there's the ones that I own that I've read this year. Those are the ones that I'm going to do because I have a visual for you. And I thought I would just start there. So without further ado, Waiting for Tom Hanks is by Carrie Winfrey. And I bought this book at Cincinnati Books by the Banks. I can't recommend that book festival enough. It's free. It's in Cincinnati. It's at the Duke Energy Center. A lot of local authors are there, Ohio authors, Kentucky, Indiana. But then we also have people come in from everywhere for that book festival. So put it on your calendar. Google it now. If I can figure out how to do one of those little cards that go on these YouTube videos, then I will put the link there, or I'll put it down below in the notes. But it's Cincinnati Books by the Banks, and it's amazing. It's free, and you are up close and personal with all of these authors. And this last year, this Carrie Winfrey was there, and Waiting for Tom Hanks, and it talks about being like a mashup for people who love Sleepless in Seattle or Nora Ephron. And my all-time favorite movie is You've Got Mail. I watch it. I can't even tell you how many times a year. I think it's the perfect book, or the perfect movie for spring, the perfect movie for fall, the perfect movie for Christmas. So I watch it all the time. And this was really, really fun. It definitely did justice to Nora Ephron and to You've Got Mail and Sleepless in Seattle. I mean, it's beautiful. So if you love those movies, you're going to love this book. It is a romance. It talks about the meet cute, if you're a big fan of rom-coms. It is a definite rom-com. I really enjoyed it. The main character is Annie Cassidy. She is a fan of rom-coms. She feels like she's starring in her own. She's writing. She ends up being able to work on location in her hometown, which is in Ohio. It is the, what is that called up there? It's right outside of Columbus, German Village. It's right in that area. So it's also nice that if you're from Ohio to be able to hear those little local terms or the local places that they mention. Her friend runs a coffee shop there. Again, I wonder why I like this book so much. But in working at the coffee shop, visiting the coffee shop, her uncle who she lives with, she's an adult. She's 20 or 30. She's a 20-something, I would say. But in being at the coffee shop, she ends up working on location with the local hot guy, or he's not local, for the hot guy who comes in to work on location there that they're making a movie. You're probably hearing squeaking. Stella loves anytime I hit the record button, she will go and grab her squeaky toy. I don't know. She doesn't like me just talking when no one else is here, I guess. So anywho, highly recommend this one. Again, you can catch my review of it on Goodreads, but you can find a lot of books right now if you go to your public library online. And most of them have made it super easy for even if you don't have a library card currently, they've made it super easy to apply for one now and get the ebooks. So do that. Whether you're a reader or not, you're going to be looking for something to keep you entertained during these quarantine days. So highly recommend that one. Another one that I read the last couple of years, I dipped in and out of it, and then I finally finished it in January. It's called The Year of Cozy. It's a book. It's one of those books that has recipes, crafts, things to make that are homemade, and it runs through by season. These dogs, I swear. But it runs through by seasons, but it's a beautiful book. I'll flip through it here a little bit where you can see the photography is awesome. I just love the word cozy. I love for things to be cozy. This is a definite time when people are baking bread and finding comfort in those sorts of things. There are some crafts in here. It's seasonal. So it starts in the autumn. This might not be the best choice to get on an ebook. I'm not sure what it would look like in an ebook form, but might be one that you want to put on your list to check out of the public library or pick up at the bookstore once this whole quarantine thing is finished. But it's a beautiful book, just a beautiful book. It's very blog-like. If you're a blog lover, this is one of those that you feel like you could be flipping through a blog. So again, let me put the author on there. Ariana, what is it? Ariana Adarme. There you go. You might want to check her out. My guess is she probably does have a blog. And the back is beautiful too. Got the little cozy dog there. Okay. Another one that I read is The Scent Keeper. I am still waiting to hear back from Reese Witherspoon. She put out there on her Hello Sunshine, which is the collaboration, or I don't know, it's not really a collaboration. She started the whole company of Hello Sunshine. Lots of positivity out there with Hello Sunshine. They put out that they were looking for a resident librarian. I did a video pitch. I wrote an essay, put that all out there. Still waiting to hear back because I have not seen that she has hired anybody. So hoping that I'm still in the running for that. But this was one of her book club reads for March, I think. Nope. February. This was the February read for her book club. It's called The Scent Keeper. This is an easy one to recommend. Lots of book clubs are going to end up doing this one, but again, her book club started with it. This is Erica Bauermeister. She is the author of The School of Essential Ingredients. I feel like they may have even made a movie out of that one. But good page turner book. The Scent Keeper is the main character in this story. Her dad is the scent keeper, and he has this collection of bottles where he is collecting the scents. He is a scent keeper. And it is the story of her figuring out how that all works. I was going to kind of show you that. How that all works. It is definitely suspenseful. It's a coming of age book for sure, because when she first starts out, she's very young and telling you the story of her and her dad living on this island. They're very secluded. You could tell that he has chosen to live life this way for a certain reason, but he's not really telling her why. She has a lot of questions. She wants to know where her extended family is. And she has a very limited contact. She can see like someone coming in a ship that's delivering something to the island. But other than that, it's her and her dad. He has definitely isolated them for a reason. So it's a good read, a good page turner, very easy to read. Adult novel. I think that that's going to be one that if you have not already read it, you're going to see that cover a lot. Another one that I read with a book club was A Gentleman in Moscow, Towles. I'm going to say that's how you pronounce it. I read this with our Blanchester staff and friends book club. We meet about every 6 weeks or so, and this was definitely a really good conversation with everyone. You get a lot of history in it. It takes place, let me see if they throw the year out there. Yes. When in 1922, 30-year-old Count Alexander Rostov is deemed an unrepentant aristocrat by a Bolshevik tribunal. He is sentenced to house arrest. Again, you got the scent keeper where they are being isolated. You have A Gentleman in Moscow where he is being quarantined into a hotel. So some of these are very thematic. But he is sentenced to house arrest in the Metropole, a grand hotel near the Kremlin, and you can Google that and you can take a virtual tour of the Metropole. An indomitable man of erudition and wit, Rostov must now live in an attic room as some of the most tumultuous decades in Russian history unfold. And it is filled with a lot of Russian history. I'm not a history buff, never have been, but every time I read, I end up engulfed in these stories that give you a lot of historic details that you end up, Googling to see like what part of this is true and what part of this isn't. A lot of fiction does that, where the authors do a great job of interweaving some historical facts with some fiction and then taking a story that pulls it all together. A Gentleman in Moscow is beautiful. The characters are beautiful. The story, you'll just get entranced by the story, trying to figure out like, do they do this? Is this a real thing? And then it is a journey. And when you get to, I mean, I feel like it takes a while. When you get to that last little bit of the story, things start just falling into place and you can see what's going to happen, or you see where you think it might be leading and how these people are going to find redemption, how these people are going to find their own freedom. So really good read. I'm sure you have seen this cover probably quite a bit. It's been very popular, and again, it's a good one with book clubs because there's so much to talk about. So again, highly recommend. It is a thicker one. Like I said, our book club meets about every 6 weeks. So we do a lot of various types of books, and this is probably one of our more hefty ones. But again, in our book club, where people have various tastes, I felt like everybody enjoyed that book, especially in the end. Like, it takes a while to finish it. I read C.S. Lewis. There it is, The Great Divorce, because I was going to a performance. I don't even know how to describe this performance. It was down at the Aronoff in the smaller theater, and this actor came out on stage, and he was C.S. Lewis, and he talked to us about his life, C.S. Lewis's life. And so I read this. I had read... oh gosh, what is the name of that book that I love so much? Screwtape Letters, a long time ago by C.S. Lewis. Remember that C.S. Lewis also writes the Chronicles of Narnia. So he is a Christian writer, but it's so much more than that, because he doesn't do like a study of Ruth or something like that. He writes a lot of fiction that are parables, or I don't know, does it say what you would call this? An allegory, a fable. That's the kind of writing that he does, so that you are meant to look at the Christian experience through some different kind of lens. So again, this is fiction, but it's a fable. The main character is elsewhere. You think that they must have passed on, so it's the next step of what comes next. And C.S. Lewis talks to you about the great divorce between humanity and spiritualism. So a good read, very short read. It's a little one, it's a thin one. And then the last one that I'm going to throw out there is Stilettos Incorporated. This is the adult book recommendation video, not for my kids. And the Stilettos Incorporated by Lexi Ryan. It is published by Ravenous Romance. I have no idea where I picked this book up. Most of my books, when you open them up, they'll have like a little like, this is $1, like that I've picked it up at a used bookstore, or I picked it up at a garage sale, or I picked it up at Half Price Books, or somebody's passed it on to me. I have no idea where this one came from, but it was fun. It is very fun. You can't tell from the cover. I mean, you can tell that it's like a romance book, or probably even like, edgy romance. But the Stilettos Incorporated have special powers. So in addition to it being a edgy romance, fun, very fun, they have special powers. So you get that like science fiction, fantasy fill in there. And it is just really fun. I did find out later that it's a series, and this is the first one, I believe, in this series. I'm pretty sure it was the first one when I looked it up, but I definitely added it to my list to read some more. I did like it enough to continue with the series, and when I say enough, like I really liked it. I didn't just like it enough because it was really fun. It's a group of girls that run a company called Stilettos Incorporated, and they work alongside of the government. So they're not in like the CIA, but they have these special powers that help out the CIA. And there's a group of guys that are in like that work for the government that they work alongside. So it was just a really fun read. I will definitely continue reading that series when I'm looking for something on that edgier romance side. So there's some that I finished this year. I'll start there, and then we'll see. Like I said, I just did one of the videos for my kids recommending books today, and I really enjoyed it. And then I'm like, there's probably a lot of people out there who are looking for good reads, and you can find a lot of these on your public library site, or maybe even like C.S. Lewis may even be in the public domain. You might be able to find that on Gutenberg. I'm not sure. But check out those sites. And my guess is if you went to like Lexi Ryan's website, or some of these other ones, I'm not sure. But if you check out like their websites, there are so many authors right now that are giving free trials of some of their books, putting a lot of samples out there so that you can either listen to them or read them like in the ebook form, because they know that we're all stuck inside and we have limited access to being able to just go out and get books. The other thing that I would highly recommend, I did this, it's been probably a week and a half now. I will say that it's taken a while for them to get the book to me. What was the... But it's a independent bookstore, and they are still taking orders, so you can still order them online. I'm sure you can still order from Amazon. I've ordered a lot of other things from Amazon, but I haven't ordered a book during this. But I did go to an independent bookstore and order the new book for Reese's book club, Untamed, I believe is the name of it, by Gwendolyn Doyle, maybe? Glennon Doyle. So I did order that one, but it has taken a while for it to get to me. It just hasn't made it yet. But I would highly recommend that if you have a local bookstore that you like, independent, most of them are still fulfilling orders. So you might want to order it that way. But, order your books, go to the public library online, fill out for a card. And you can get your ebooks that way. You can read them on your computer. You can read them on your Kindle. You can read them on your phone. I read a lot through my Libby app, again, Libby, which is a free app on your phone. You can download it from your whatever app store that you have, and then you just plug in your library card number, and you can get your books delivered that way. So let me know what you're reading. I always love to hear what you're reading, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video today, because I just miss talking to people about what they're reading. So drop a comment, send me an email, send me a text. Let me know what it is that you're reading and what you would recommend, because that's been the other thing. I've gotten several really good book recommendations during this time. I have really struggled to read. I've only finished one book during this quarantine, which has lasted for a month now. I've had a hard time focusing on it. I've had some health issues that it causes me. I have a hard time focusing, but I feel like I'm coming on the other side. So I did finish a audiobook, French pressed. I don't have a copy to show you, but that's been a really fun one. By Cleo Coyle. I've been reading the whole series. I'm making my way through the series. I would recommend listening to the audiobooks of those. Those are super fun, and they're easy to listen to while I'm working around the house. If you carry your phone around and it's on that Libby app, you can just hit play and carry that phone around while you're trying to get things done, dusting and cleaning and such. And so I've gotten a lot a lot listened to on the audio. I think I only spent about 2 days listening to it while I was trying to get stuff done around the house. So highly recommend listening to the audio of Cleo Coyle's Coffee House Mysteries. French pressed is probably the sixth, seventh, somewhere around there. And I really enjoy those, and I'll probably be book talking those if I do some more of these videos. So again, thanks. Hit a like. Let me know if you are enjoying it, if you need more recommendations, if you're looking for something specific. I am happy to be your librarian. Let me know how I can help you guys. Thanks. Bye.